In a death battle with a level playing field, two challengers from the world of A Song of Ice and Fire are going head-to-head in a battle of brawn, brain, and leadership. You the fans have voted, and your champions chosen. Going head-to-head today is the striking Jaime Lannister versus the hot-blooded Oberyn Martell. Let's meet our challengers, shall we? As the son of Tywin Lannister, Jaime Lannister was very much born with a silver spoon in his mouth, but he achieved his reputation through steel. From a very young age, he was an extremely talented swordsman, winning several melee tournaments against men twice his age and earning himself a knighthood at just 15. Jaime was made a member of Aerys Targaryen's Kingsguard, but found the prestigious position to be more of a curse than an honor when he had to endure the Mad King's favorite ritual of burning his enemies alive. Eventually, during the rebellion against the crown, Aerys decided that his final act would be to burn all of King's Landing with wildfire. Jaime, acting quickly, killed the very king he was sworn to protect before he could give the order, saving countless lives but forever branding himself as the Kingslayer. Jaime is an extremely gifted fighter, probably one of the best the Seven Kingdoms has ever known. His greatest strength is... Oh yeah, I guess we have a bit of a technicality here. The loss of Jaime's hand completely rearranges his stats in a big way. While typically a character's score is based on either the last time we saw them in the most recent books, or just the last time we saw them alive period, you guys all really wanted to know what Jaime's scores were with both his hands. So, Jaime will be given 2 scores, and we'll see how they both compare. Jaime's score set with only one hand will be the deciding one, but we'll see if both, neither, or only one of Jaime's score sets can earn him a victory. Oberyn is the younger brother of Oberyn Martell, and like many sons who aren't firstborn, Oberyn had a lot more freedom of responsibility in his youth to pursue his passions and pleasures. When he was found in bed with his foster father's lover, he was challenged to a duel by first blood, which he won. But after said lord died from the infections of his extremely minor injuries, it was suspected that Oberyn had used poison on his weapon, earning himself the nickname the Red Viper. Afterwards, Oberyn left Dorne, at first to visit Old Town to train as a maester, and then quite extensively to travel the Free Cities as a Second Son's mercenary. Oberyn is definitely versatile in his background, with half a maester's chain earned at the Citadel and much insight about the world learned through his travels and mercenary experience. His greatest strength is being an extremely quick fighter, and having enough forethought to poison his opponents to ensure he always gets the kill. He's no slouch when it comes to his general knowledge either, but his weakness comes from his tendency to get too emotionally involved in what he's fighting for. He's also easy to provoke and almost completely without self-restraint, being easily tempted into a fight or into a bedroom. Oberyn's poisons might be a great plan B in combat, but since he never has anything that will do his opponent in fast enough, it won't do much to ensure his own immediate safety either. So, will the Golden Knight be able to cut down the Red Viper, or will he be just another victim of a snake bite? You've met them, so let's get right to it. First up is physical prowess. Thrown into a one-on-one melee, who would win with no outside help? Jaime with his right hand was always revered as an absolute artist with his sword, almost without equal. Two-handed Jaime brings in an 8th for strength, a perfect 10 for dexterity, and an 8 for constitution. After all, this guy single-handedly took out 5 of Robb Stark's men at the Battle of the Whispering Wood, and then still had the energy to challenge Robb to single-handed combat, which Robb wisely refused. And here's where you see just how devastating his maiming was to his fighting abilities. While he keeps his 8 in constitution, Jaime with only his left hand reaps in a pretty sad 2 in strength and a 1 in dexterity. Oberyn isn't a knight, but he's proof that you don't need to be to get the job done or to earn a fearful reputation. He can use a sword, but his preferred weapon is an 8-foot-long spear with mostly light armor that maximizes speed. His strategy is to keep his opponents at a distance and dance around them until he can access his weak points. While he gets a fairly average 6 in strength and constitution, his unparalleled skill with a spear earns him a perfect 10 for dexterity. Two-handed Jaime's score of 26 just edges out Oberyn's score of 22. This would be an amazing fight to watch, fast and direct with lots of great one-liners flying back and forth. What would win Jaime the fight would be his ability to push Oberyn's buttons to send him over the edge until he made a mistake when he came at him with his spear. At the first wrong move, Jaime could break or get inside the reach of his spear and easily slash through Oberyn's weak armor. While Oberyn uses poison, it's no secret to the rest of the realm. Jaime would know about it and be extra careful to either deflect or avoid it. Jaime one-handed is a pretty different story, bringing in a pretty pathetic score of only 11. Jaime could try all he wants to enrage and distract Oberyn, but with no skilled sword hand to defend himself, it's only going to make Oberyn's poison spear find Jaime all the faster. The second category is mental prowess, who would be the best at outwitting or outplaying the other. With the preoccupation of being a knight and a Kingsguard member, Jaime chose to sharpen his sword skills rather than his mind. He gets an average intelligence score of 5, and a 4 for intuition and a 6 for will. But since you can't deny how much he's changed after he lost his hand in the Riverlands, being forced to talk and negotiate his way out of a problem rather than hack it in two, Mame Jaime gets a slightly higher intelligence score of 6, a 6 in intuition, and a higher score in will with 8, since he learned to think for himself a lot more too. Citadel training is the best schooling you can get in Westeros, and Oberyn was able to prove his knowledge enough to forge 6 links of a Maester's chain. However, Oberyn is extremely rash in his decision-making. He's also undisciplined and somewhat hedonistic in his principles. He may have been smart enough to poison his spear to ensure his revenge on the mountain, but he made some pretty stupid mistakes based on pride that ended up getting him killed as well. He earns a 6 in intelligence, a 3 in intuition, and a 6 in will. While they were perfectly tied before at 15, Jaime's traumatic life experience earns him a 20 to outscore Oberyn. And last but not least, we have political prowess. Despite the fact that Jaime has the last name to get involved, he's shown and said many times that he has no interest in politics. This is the only area where Jaime's stats don't change from one-handed to two-handed. He gets a 6 in charisma, because while he is talented and good-looking with a sword, he'll never be able to out-charm those that see him as the dishonest Kingslayer. While I would give Jaime the perfect Lannister 10 for wealth, he gave up all rights to inherit any money or lands or even marry into someone else's when he became a member of the Kingsguard, so I have to push his wealth back significantly to a 7. Jaime is the captain of the Kingsguard, a renowned group, and has the powerful last name, giving him a status score of 6. Oberyn Martell is quite popular across Westeros, backed by a quick-witted tongue giving him an 8 in charisma, and since the Martells are the 3rd richest family in Westeros at the moment, he earns an 8 for wealth. However, since he is only the younger brother of the ruler of Dorne, he earns a 7 for status. So Oberyn's political score of 23 beats out Jaime's score of 19. While it would have been a categorical tie between these two back when Jaime had 2 hands, with Jaime winning the physical prowess, tying for mental prowess, and Oberyn winning for the political, but since Jaime's one-handed score could only pull off the mental win, the winner of this week's Westeros Brawls is Prince Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper of Dorne. Please like and subscribe, and drop a name in the comments below for who you want to see next time on Westeros Brawls. Also, I'm doing a Q&A video soon, so while you're down there leaving a name for Westeros Brawls, feel free to leave a question, and I'll answer it next time on a video.